One thing I'd like to note is, so I just did my sample to be the exact length I want my buttonhole to be on my hoodie. So that's a 1/2 inch. And if you did that and you're working on your buttonholes the same day and your machine is still set up, like I just barely sewed my buttonhole, I just finished. If you're in that case, then your machine is actually going to remember how long the buttonhole you just made is, and it's going to be making, like, if you sew again, it'll make one the exact same length. So if you already have all of that in place and you just sewed a 1/2 inch buttonhole, then you can just use that to your advantage when you sew your hoodie. If not, that's fine. I'll go over the settings again in the next video. But if you just watch this, so I have just my, like a sample piece of fabric, and if I put my presser foot down, and all I'm going to do, no hands, no nothing, I'm just going to hit my foot pedal, and you'll see that it's ready to go on the next leg, the first leg of the buttonhole. So it's going to sew the whole thing, and it's going to do it the exact same length as the one it just barely did, because it remembers for you. As long as you don't change your settings after or turn off and on your machine. So I'll let it sew. And it already remembered, see, I didn't even have to hit the reverse button. It saw that it got to the end, and that's as long as I wanted my buttonhole the first time, so it's just going to say that's how long they want the buttonhole the next time. So it's just doing everything for me. I don't have to do anything except for hit the foot pedal. And then here it'll do the last 3 little stitches, and it just finishes. I can let off my foot pedal, lift this up, trim my threads, and I have a buttonhole that's the exact same length as the one on my first sample. It just remembers for me. So if you're going to work on your hoodie right now, that is kind of a handy thing, because if you have your buttonhole as long as you want it on your hoodie, so if I have this right here and that's how long I want it on my hoodie, then I can just sew and it's going to know when to start, turn back around and everything. If not, that's totally fine. Like if you have to go home and then come back and work on it, we can reset the settings and it'll be just fine. But that's just a handy little trick. The reason they do that is because if you're making like a shirt and you want all your buttonholes to be the exact same size, because you're going to have like a row of buttonholes, and they're all going to be right next to each other, you want them to be pretty uniform. So your machine will remember for you. So if you do them all at the same time, they'll all be the exact same.